that we need to do it positively to reduce in the air, to reduce the carbon in the air.
So even if we do everything, we still need to reduce
Yes,
carbon by
yes,
50 to
because
20%.
yes.
Okay.
Tomorrow and the morning. So I think that means that take everything easy, not so intense and so nervous. The carbon is on the air, and we need to capture them because the concentration is already high. And we want to capture them and put it whatever to utilize them or to storage them. So today my breakfast is banana. So.
And for lunch, is that a banana too? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to The Switch, not just another podcast. My name is Kristina Hagström-Elievska, and I'm the naive optimist with rebellic streak who is humble and happy to be able to host this amazing show. This amazing show where we educate you, where we entertain you in order to give you a possibility to make the transition, to do the switch to a better and a greener world. We want to make sure that you can be a part of it and to give you the knowledge how to do so. With me today, I don't have Emil and I don't have Jacob because I'm in Taiwan. But of course, they are behind the scenes anyway, making sure that whatever you see right now is there and looks really sharp and good. But I do have a guest with me here today. Welcome to the show, Sofia Liu, or should I say Dr. Sofia Liu?
That's okay. Sam.
Nice to have you here. You are an amazing person. Let me just go through your CV here. You're an excellent researcher devoted to environmental chemistry, especially groundwater pollution for decades, but also fluent in English, Spanish, and Mandarin. And you grew up both in Argentina and Taiwan. No wonder that you have a very special experience and perspective of the way of living and also profession. You are chairman at the Department of Geosciences at the National Taiwan University, and recently also been assigned to lead the new Science and Technology Research Institute of Decarbonization, which we will learn more about today. This center will gather Taiwan's most prominent and innovative researchers from different sectors to work together and find solutions for the nation's decarbonization and net zero future. So you see, people, there is a lot that we can learn from Dr. Sofia. I'm very happy to have you here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for attending. I just wanted to start, when I read up on you, there was an expression that I think I got curious about. It says, mañana a la mañana. What does that mean?
Okay, so in Spanish, mañana means tomorrow and the morning. So I think that means that take everything easy, not so intense and so nervous, because mañana a la mañana, everything will fix it. Tomorrow morning, everything will fix it. Don't worry about that.
So it's like, don't worry, be happy kind of thing.
Yes,
but
kind of that. Yeah.
I guess that's an important way of thinking of problems in a sense as you are working.
Yeah. Yes. Don't be too tense.
Yeah. I like that. And what I also like is to learn a lot of new things. And today we're going to learn a lot about decarbonization.
Yep.
But before that, I want to learn a little bit about you.
Okay.
Yeah. On a personal level, are you ready for the wheel of questions?
Yes.
Here we go. Let's roll it.
Wheel of questions. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
Actually, I was thinking that when I was small, I could like to be a kindergarten teacher. And now I have students, but a little bit older.
Well, what do you think is most difficult, the older ones or the younger ones?
Well, in different aspects, they're all in trouble.
They are. Your father once told you to live your profession in the Spanish realm, but you actually decided to go another route, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
Yes, I think in the part of Asians, the think is always like girls will work on like secretaries or translations. That is more like easier part, like Spanish translate into Chinese, or Mandarin, or English, and that will be easier. But when I came back to Taiwan, I decided to study civil engineering.
Pretty hard, yeah.
Yes, and so it's everything, math and physics, chemistry, and well, so I'm getting in trouble myself.
I get it. But I mean, you have been really going your own path.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
And my father is also unbelieving it.
But he must be proud now.
Oh yes. I think so.
Thank you. Let's see what a second question gives you. Let's roll the wheel.
Wheel of questions. If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Okay, I think that will be banana.
Banana?
Yeah, because I'm always in conference meetings, and so I need to take something quickly. So today my breakfast is banana. So.
And for lunch, is that a banana too? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really, but it's good. It has a lot of nutrients.
Yes, and quick.
A good quick meal.
Yeah, yes, and green.
And green. It's a good choice. And also good when it comes to vegetarian food is better for the...
Yes, for the carbon footprint.
There you go. So Sofia, I really want to understand this decarbonization. Could you introduce us to it?
Okay, so we know when the human being every day more and more the population.
Yeah.
And so we emit a lot of carbon. And so the carbon will influence the temperature and the climate of the Earth. And so we want to reduce the carbon emission, but how to do that? And so the decarbonization means that to reduce the carbon concentration or emission in the whole world or in the Earth.
Yeah, and today we do that by trying to use renewables and looking into efficiency and so on. But what more is there to be done? Okay,
so the more positive part is to reduce our emission, right? And how to reduce that? Firstly, I think, as you say, the renewable energies, or to increase the efficiency of our energy usage, and also the carbon is on the air, and we need to capture them, because the concentration is already high. And we want to capture them and put it whatever to utilize them or to storage them. And so we want to reduce the carbon concentration.
So what you're saying is that it's not going to be enough just to switch to renewables?
Yeah, because if we switch to a renewable energy, or plus to increase our efficiency, I think there is around 15% to 20% is that we need to do it positively to reduce in the air, to reduce the carbon in the air.
So even if we do everything, we still need to reduce
Yes,
carbon by
yes,
50 to
because
20%.
yes.
Okay, and how do you reduce carbon?
Firstly, we need to capture them. So we say that carbon concentration is quite high, but in terms of the climate or in terms of the temperature capable for Earth. But when we use, we don't need carbon, right? But we produce a lot of carbon.
Yeah.
But we need to selectively take from air. So firstly, we need to capture them.
How do you capture carbon?
So we have a lot of new technologies to selectively capture them, because in the air we have oxygen, we have nitrogen, we have other kind of gases. And so we need to selectively taking carbon dioxide from the air. And there is a lot of new techniques like amine adsorptions and some mesopores to take it and so to storage them in absorbent.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I see. In front of me, I see like a big vacuum.
It's kind of that to take it from the air.
But how does it like capture only certain parts and not everything? I mean.
So there is selectivities. So the material need to be selectively in the air. We have oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide and others elements, right? And the material is only selectively select carbon to absorb it. And so we have two kind of adsorptions. One is physical, the other is chemical. Chemical absorption and the physical absorption.
I had Microsoft on the Switch a couple of months ago, and he was telling me that Microsoft is not only going to be carbon neutral, they're going to be carbon negative. So they're going to repay what they have already produced. And I think that was actually with carbon capture.
Yes, that should be carbon capture, yes. Because we need to take the carbon dioxide from the air. Yeah.
When you have taken it from the air, what happens then?
So two ways, right? Reutilizations.
Yeah.
And so I think there is many industries think about how to transfer CO2 into other materials like alcohol, because it's carbon, C, right? Or ethanol, methane, kind of that. And or we need to storage them because the amount to reutilize them is too small because we produce too much CO2 on the environment. And so we need to keep them under the ground.
How do you keep them under the ground? Is it like you push it in or how?
Yes, we need to have a deep well and to push CO2 in the underground. But I think that is quite important because we cannot push CO2 everywhere, right? So we need to have a geological survey and to know where is capable to capture CO2 or to storage CO2.
What does it need to have? How do you know where to store it? Is it like a specific place or?
Yes. Firstly, we need to have a safe place because if we inject CO2 under the ground, some people is worrying about will take explore or I think there is no explosions, but may be toxic for the human, right? And that's such high concentration. Some people will worry about that. And so the injection will be like 800 meters or more deeper under the ground.
Okay.
And so after 800 meters, the CO2 will be a subcritical form. And you may ask me, what is subcritical, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Good.
So, so in CO2 is always in your mind. That will be like air, gas phase, right? The subcritical form is like between liquid phase and the gas phase.
Okay.
So kind of water, but not water. It's between water or liquid and the gas. Okay, so that's may concentrate CO2 because in subcritical, that will be more concentrate and the mobility is like water. And so we want to inject them, and when they keep in the underground, will react with the sediments or with minerals. And that will be stable
So it
in
will
the underground.
like turn into stone or what?
Yes, like that.
Wow.
To minerals, like CaCO3.
Yeah. But, I mean, this idea is, I know that it's been out there, but honestly, I mean, it sounds really mind-blowing, right? You take a vacuum, you take out the carbon, you store, either you use it or you push it down the well, and that turns into stone.
Yes.
Why haven't we done this before?
Oh, because firstly, I think politically or economically, that is quite expensive.
I see.
And everything, if you know, for humans, always something affect you that you will think the solution. And when the things not affect you, that will, well, let it go.
Care.
Mañana la mañana.
That's when you should not use it. Okay. But then let's turn it around. I mean, carbon capture, utilization, storage, and that will play then a significant role in many countries in their net zero strategy.
Yes.
I kind of know, but why? Could you explain that? Why do you think that will play a big role?
Because as I mentioned before, I think there will be like a 15 to 20% of carbon that cannot be able to solve or to clean it up. If we are working pretty hard to increase the efficiency or to use the green energy, but we still have 15 to 20% of carbon it's not able to solve. And so I think we need to storage them.
Okay. Do you think they will start paying for it now? Is it important enough?
To pay or to?
I mean, we talked about it will play a significant role in many countries' net strategy. Will they pay for it now? Because you said that they didn't want to pay for it before because it was like...
Yes, because now for US and for Europe, they are thinking about a carbon tax for your products. And so, it's hurt for industries and for...
Okay, so the government actually gets funded by this tax and they can use it to...
Yes.
Wow, that is mind-blowing. You want to push that one for me?
This one?
Yeah, do it. Awesome. But I mean, it sounds a little bit almost too good to be true. So what are the biggest challenges in decarbonization?
Well, I think that is quite new, new things or new technologies. Firstly, I think the public acceptance. I think, nobody knows what is that. And so I think the education should be quite important now. We need to know what is emerging now. So what we have and what problem we have now, and what we can do, because as I say before, someone said that if we storage CO2 under the ground, and that will get out and we will be dead. And that is not scientifically words, but someone need to educate
about creating
them.
awareness.
Yes.
I think that it's. I think if I call this one, I mean, it really is. I think that governments don't understand the importance of creating awareness. You're talking about this part. I'm from the geothermal world. We have the same problem.
Yes.
People don't understand and know what it is. And I think that you are onto something that is really important. I think that the politicians need to take in that they also need to educate and work together with academia.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yes. I think so.
Yeah. This new initiative that started up. What do you hope for? What do you want to achieve here?
Firstly, I think Taiwan is an exporting country because we export products outside, and our carbon emission factor is about 0.509, I think. It means that we produce 1 grid of energy will produce 0.509, I think, kilogram of carbon dioxide. And so that will transfer to tax. Or for example, if we export our products to Europe or to United States, that will increase their their cost. Yes.
Okay, so it will be more expensive.
Yes.
Export.
So everything will be expensive, and so I think our government is working on that. For example, to green energy, and also now we are help them to find where will be a ideal place to do a carbon dioxide storage.
Let's dive into this, because what you're telling me now is that doing what you're doing, working together with the government, can actually make cost go down on the export.
Yes.
So this will be a global discussion to be had.
Yes. Yes. Because as we are with chips now, you know that, right? TSMC, that they are doing the chips.
Please tell us.
Okay, TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Company, that they produce chips for everything.
Yeah.
For example, and you know that the production will influence the whole world, right? Taiwan is small, but affects many industries because we produce many things in Taiwan.
Yeah.
And so if the cost increase, that's increase everything. So that will affect the world, right? Everything will be expensive, and our money will be useless. And so I think if we decrease if we help to decrease the carbon dioxide, and the carbon emission factor will decrease, and so everything will be cheaper because we decrease our carbon emissions.
So for this factory that are doing the chips, we can decrease the carbon?
No. I mean, Taiwan will affect the world because we export many things, right? But if the carbon tax, if the company needs to pay the carbon tax, that will increase their cost.
Yeah.
And so if the governments try to increase the green energy level and also to decrease CO2 emission, and that will decrease the carbon tax for our industry or for our company.
So this is actually new for me. I just wanted to understand. So the carbon tax is on a country, not on a company.
Because the calculation of carbon emission factor, that will be calculating the whole country.
Okay.
Not for company.
It's really interesting to understand how actually a country needs to
reduce the CO2
in order for a company to be able to export something to a price that will not affect the world. It's really a change.
Yes, it's a very big change.
Yeah. Are people working together to try to solve this, or is this knowledge based in silos right now?
I think now it's quite in chaos. So nobody knows what is net zero. Nobody knows what is carbon tax, and so it's quite confusing now. But our government
said...
Thank
you for saying that, because now I feel better, because it is so confusing. Thank you. Please make it less confusing, because it really is.
But you know that you ever heard about 2030 and 2050?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every country say that we will complete carbon emissions,
exactly.
to 2030, and we will target it to net zero at 2050. But everybody say that, but nobody know how to do that. And even our regulations. And
that's actually one of the issues that are, and I mean, regulations today don't follow in the same tempo.
Not yet.
So what we have done and what we have made laws about and created everything for is something that was long ago. So I agree with you. We really need the flexibility in order to change and understand.
Yes. For example, for the geothermal, I think we need to have a regulation more flexible for us, and also the carbon storage. The regulation is not yet, and so I think we need to push them.
How do we do that?
To talk with the government. And so to educate them, to know.
So there we go back to the education. Now academia needs to educate.
Yes. Like I want to teach kindergarten, and now I need to teach in the university.
In Sweden, we have a saying. It's like no matter where you are in the world, everybody plays in the same sandbox. So just like we were children, we were fighting about the same toys and we're discussing things. So it's no difference when they are 5 years or they're 50 years.
That's right.
Well, I hope that that many people now are listening and can actually take in. And as you said, I think that knowledge, if you understand what, for example, what we're talking about here today about carbon capture, if you understand that and look and read something about it, it's going to be easier to make the right decision.
And also for the carbon storage, that is a multidisciplines, because we need to have a chemical engineering background, civil engineering, and we need to have a transportation of CO2, and we need to have geological background and many environmental engineering. It's quite a mixing knowledge.
A mixing knowledge, and I also, if I listen to it, it sounds like it's also time consuming to do things that...
Yes.
Is it a certain...
Yes, certain terms. And so, as I mentioned, we need to have a capture technology, and also transporting, pumping, and to know where to fix them.
Yeah.
Mineralogies. Yeah. And so we are always say that, carbon, your diamonds, it's carbon because it's the crystalline, different crystalline. And your carbon is carbon. And so if we storage the carbon under the ground, maybe one day will be diamond.
Oh,
But we need
like that.
yes, but we need pressure and the temperature and the time.
I mean, we are creating value, aren't we? Very interesting. Before we move into the next segment, I'm a little bit curious, like what are the breakthroughs in decarbonization that you think will actually help us switch?
I think the education will be the first things that we need to do, and to publish them to everyone, and others is the technologies, new technologies we need now. Yeah, that is quite important.
So does it need more investment in the area in order for it to develop?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that is quite emerging.
So investors out there, make sure to check this out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Let's move you into a new segment. Let's see what the future will ask you.
Questions from our future.
What do you want me to do different than your generation?
I think you need to be more, need to be greener, environmental friendly, or understand more the interaction between human and the environment. Because I think that is very important in the future, because we use a lot things from the world or from the earth, and I think we need to push them back.
Do you think that we are consuming too much?
Yes.
So
I
you think
so.
that the next generation should not consume as much as we did?
I think that is not fair to say that they not to consume so much or so many. But I think they need to have a new thinking, because everything need to not taking from the earth. I think that should be taken from ourselves, like reuse them or rethink what the material need to be in the future.
I agree with that, and I think that you're right about it. It's not fair to just push another way of living to a younger generation. People who are living now are not ready to change. How do we?
Yes.
How do we make people understand that they actually need to change?
Yes. Yes. So it's not fair to say not consuming in the future, but I think they need to have a new way to think about how to consume the things. Yes.
We have had a couple of guests which have had a really interesting perspective. We had, for example, Cake, who's making electric motorbikes, and his point of view was we need to produce more quality so that whatever we buy has a longer life cycle.
Life cycle. Yes.
I think that is a way moving forward for another generation to consume less, but still keep the prosperity as we have, not to have to like.
Yeah, so I think in the future, the service will be important, because the things will be with a long life cycle, but the service things to be there. And so, that we, for example, with a clothes, we are thinking that we need to buy cheaper and cheaper, right? But we just throw it them. But for industry, they need to survive, and they need to have they need to be to produce more and more clothes. But how can they survive without making clothes?
Yeah.
So they need to sell their service and not making a new clothes, I
We
think.
should actually like change the mind. I heard the younger generation. I kind of like it. They said a cloth like a jacket. The cost of a jacket should be calculated on a price per use.
Yes.
So if I have a jacket and it costs, let's say, $1,000, or I buy a jacket that costs $100,
Yes.
or $10. If I use the one for $10 3 times, I throw it away. And if I use the one for $1,000 1,000 times,
Yes.
the
That's
price per use is going to go down. It's quite kind of new way
different
of
thinking. Yes, yes, that's right. And always the cost to treat them, to dispose the waste. That I think that will be a very. So it's a question or a very hard for the future.
Well, I think it's a mindset we need to do. It's just like we were talking about carbon capture. What can we reuse from this and put into something? I think that's the mindset we need to have in clothes and cars and
Yes,
in
everything.
energy we're using and everything. So I think it's a really mind shift, which I encourage. Go for that. There you go. Another thing that I would like to discuss a little bit, which I always go into with my guests, is this uncomfortable question segment.
Uncomfortable conversations.
So, within your area of carbon capture and all of this, what uncomfortable conversations are not had yet? What kind of questions do we need to ask and discuss more that we're not doing today?
Regulations, because I think everything is new for us, and also to the governments, and the regulations it's not okay now. So I think we need to have more flexible regulations or more or different aspects of regulations now. So the regulation need to establish quickly.
But why don't you think we're why it's kind of like it's not new knowledge that we need to have flexibility in it. Why are we not there? Why can't we succeed in this?
So politics is politics. I think that is quite difficult for us, for academic side.
Yeah. How can you give an example?
For example, geothermal is kind of like geothermal. We know that the geothermal source or geothermal resource is always in the mountain, but we have a very strict regulations for geothermal, for the explorations. Yes, and so that's if we want to push the green energy quickly, but we are stuck in the regulation, nothing will going on, and we will always stay in the same place. Yeah. So that's political. It's political.
Yeah, but isn't the really uncomfortable conversation here that people will push matters and subjects that will get them reelected, not the questions that will change and make a better world?
Well, everyone have their mind, their thinking or their way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We can just what we can do is do it well in our side and preparing to have a good time.
When you say we, are you saying the researchers?
Yes, the researchers.
Do you feel that people are listening enough to research?
Now,
Yeah.
in Taiwan,
Yeah.
part of them.
Part of them. Yeah.
Yes, because you know that researchers, for example, things may have different aspects and different way to see it. And also researchers, sometimes they look only one way because they are thinking only when they see, okay?
Yeah.
And so it's also like that. Different areas will think by themselves. For example, if the way to environmental way, I think they will think different. For example, someone thinks carbon dioxide is not affecting the world or not affecting Earth. For example, Trump. Well, so I think also many researchers support his thinking. And so it's kind of one thinks with different aspect to see it.
So,
And so
what the problem here is the polarization, definitely, or the believers and the non-believers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
But how is it possible? I feel that there's so much as a proof
Proofs.
out there.
Uh-huh.
How can we actually argue this in any way?
Yeah, so as I said before, what we can do is to do it by ourselves in the best way and to getting prepared. And when we can do it, and we just do it.
So I've learned so much today, a lot of information, and I really feel that it has taken me to another level. I hope that all the listeners and watchers out there also feel the same way. So my sunshine goes to you. I know you have the chance to give sunshine to someone, an organization, an initiative, or anyone out there that you think should be having that scene right now. Who would you like to give the sunshine to?
Oh, to all my students.
Good.
To all my colleges. And hope we can work all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sunshine for everyone.
Awesome!
I think that the future is definitely in our youth and the students that you have. So I give thumbs up to that one. Listen, Sofia, if you would summarize this conversation and give a couple of last words to our viewers, what would you say? What would you like to leave them with?
Over. Boom. Let me think. What we still need? Well, start from 0 and go to net zero.
Good work. Start from 0 and go to net zero. It's no harder than that, people out there. Thank you very much for attending today's conversation and being a part of the Switch, Not Just Another podcast. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I've been educated and entertained, and I hope that you are also educated and entertained. Make sure that if you like this, share it to someone that you can teach. Make sure to subscribe and make sure to comment so that we can get more of your opinions, thoughts, and actually get the conversation going. That's it. That's what we want to do with this show. So thank you for listening. Thank you for attending again. And I wish you a great day wherever you are in the world. Take care of yourself. And if you can, take care of someone else as well. See ya. Bye.